Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh.
We'll start the show off with a broken toe.
How's it going, guys? I'm Barry.
I'm Colby.
And this is Who Watches This? So today we're doing another topic that I think a lot of people have had discussions about, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
And it's why Hollywood can't make a good Fantastic Four film.
Right, especially now that there are so many really good comic movies.
Yeah, and and I think now all the cinematics, the special effects have really just come into its own.
Yeah.
Where it's really crazy, but for some reason Hollywood it still can't get it right.
Right, and it's such a diverse team, and they've got such a rogue of villains, rogues gallery of villains. It seems like a movie franchise that they could do so much with.
Yeah, and doesn't it seems like it's one of those franchises that could just really mix in well with the Marvel universe now.
Oh, totally.
Because alright, so we'll go to the makeup of the actual team. It's Reed Richards, who's basically he's
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic, who is one of the smartest minds of the Marvel universe.
Right, and he's basically Plastic Man if you are not familiar with Fantastic Four.
You have Sue Richards.
Yeah.
Or Sue Storm.
Yep.
Who's the wife of Reed Richards, but she's also what's it called? She's low key really one of the more powerful beings in there also, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And she's genius.
Is she genius level also?
Not to the extent, but I mean she was space program and rocket scientist kind of.
So she's really smart, right?
Yeah.
And I just remember talking to one of my best friends about this from high school, who was a big Fantastic Four guy.
Right.
And he was all yeah, so you can put a force field inside of your body and just make you explode.
Right. Yeah, because she can turn invisible, and then she can make bubbles. She can make force fields. She can make. She can turn other people invisible.
See,
if
so
she's close to them, she can.
Yeah, so she's legit pretty powerful. We have Johnny Storm,
the Human Torch.
The Human Torch, who I never read the older comics, but apparently his first iteration was actually a robot or something.
Yes, way back.
Yeah, but now he's just the sort of the comic relief of the team, right?
Right, but still throw fire. Can fly super fast.
Can go supernova.
Yeah.
I only know that from the movie.
They've certainly over the years have given him multiple special abilities. He's not just flames.
I also just remember, was he also the one from the Spider-Man show, the cartoon?
Yes.
Or was it another?
No, it was. There was a girl. It was Spider-Man, and it was Iceman and Firestorm.
Oh yeah, okay. There was
it was a girl, but yeah.
And then we also have the Thing.
The Thing,
right? I also, same friend who told me this story. I never really looked into it, but the Thing apparently had fought some cosmic level being that just liked to fight, and he had granted it. He had told the Thing that he was the Earth's best fighter or something.
Right.
Was that a storyline?
There was, yep. And there's been issues of the comic where he's gone toe to toe with the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Trying to subdue the Incredible Hulk, from destroying a city or whatever.
It's that Brooklyn tenacity.
Oh, right.
He's from Brooklyn, or is it Bronx? Oh no, he's from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
It's that Bronx tenacity. So just from the main four superheroes from this, they've later added on other superheroes to be part, but these are the core four members.
Right. Yeah, from the beginning.
And yeah, like you said, they are really diverse.
Right. So I'm like, there's so much you could do with it, and there's kind of a love story in there between Sue and Reed. There's the brother sister thing because Human Torch and Invisible Woman are brother and sister.
Yeah.
Which we will get into in one of the movies.
But so a diverse cast. I mean, really, it should have been like one of those. It should have been what's called the blueprint for like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
But now Guardians is like this huge franchise now.
Yeah.
And it's something that Fantastic Four could never pull off for some reason.
It's almost like on that one, it was like the Guardians, nobody knew
anything as much
right.
about.
And so it was like, hey, if we take some comic characters and we kind of morph them into actor, like into the screen characters we want them to be.
Yeah.
Where the Fantastic Four kind of almost is like boxed in. Where
that's true.
So many people are familiar with them.
Well, yeah, because they were really popular like during the 70s, right? That's like
right.
when sort of they came out.
Yeah, it was really kind of the very, very one of the very first Stan Lee Marvel relaunch into superheroes, like 62.
Oh, okay. And they're like one of the first like superhero like families.
Right. Where besides that, you had Spider-Man and you had the Hulk and you had stuff like that, but it was X-Men was a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Avengers was a little bit later on. So this was kind of like that first team
of like heroes. Okay. Yeah, and so like it has all this history and just Hollywood just still for some reason can't get it right. Like Fantastic Four that kind of like trips me out too is the fact that they have like one of like the best villains in Marvel history.
Right.
Dr. Doom.
Definitely Dr. Doom. I mean, he's kind of half this super crime lord, like Kingpin. He is super genius. He
owns his own country.
He owns his own country, and he's got like this armor. He's got a mechanical suit, so he's basically bad guy Iron Man as well. I mean, he's like triple threat.
But and also like as of late too, they've recently given him like magic, or is that not recent? But like he has like magic powers now also.
Right, and they've kind of delved into that as he is like so smart that he can start to study the magic that Doctor Strange does and understand it, and he can learn all these hidden techniques from other heroes and villains, and
so he's sort of like Taskmaster also.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, he is like the Fantastic Four's like Joker.
Definitely.
Yeah. And like, let's be honest, like Dark Knight 2, only as good as its villain. So so it always just bewilders me, like why they can't make this team work.
Right.
So like before we started the podcast, I was talking to Colby about the '94 Fantastic Four film.
Roger Corman, yeah.
Well, so like apparently like they only did the movie so Sony could hold on to the rights, correct? Did you ever hear about that or no?
For the original one?
Yeah, the '94 one.
I don't know I don't know anything that way. I just know that at that point Marvel was not tied to any kind of studio, so anybody who wanted to do a movie was basically buying the rights.
Yeah.
To the characters from, or renting the rights from the characters from Marvel.
Well, yeah. So apparently, like I was like checking an article. This movie from '94 was made just to retain the rights.
It was definitely B-rated fun.
Well, like I think in the article it said like the budget was only like $1 million, so they didn't put any like money into that, which I mean like $1 million is still a lot, but to make a superhero film,
right,
it was not enough.
And I know it never made it to the movie theaters, and then I don't think it even ever was like officially at that time would have been VHS, but I don't think it was ever video released. I had only ever seen it kind of bootleg copies and stuff at comic conventions and that kind of thing.
So it was like this mysterious, like uncatchable tape, right?
Yeah. I did at one point own a bootleg copy of it, but I don't know whatever happened to it.
And then we cut to, I think, 2005.
Right, that was the first kind of big budget Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, like it was following up the, I guess, it was following up Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, because I think they came out 2003.
Yep.
Which like was sort of like one of the first like commercial hits for like a Marvel movie. Yeah, because Batman. But I think 2005 it was going up against Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan's, But I still I remember watching it, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like a great film. It was sort of like a campy, B-rated film. But I did like the cast.
You did?
Like I like who played Reed Richards.
Okay.
Because it's sort of like it saw me like it made me like feel like that's kind of like who I've seen on comic books and all that stuff.
Right.
He had the look.
And I didn't hate Jessica Alba.
You did it.
I think I had a little crush on Jessica Alba
as
an actress.
In 2005, everybody had a crush on Jessica Alba.
I think I forgave some of her flaws.
Man, dude, oh my God, early 2000s was like Jessica Alba's like decade. And I also didn't. I actually liked the dude from S.H.I.E.L.D. who played Ben Grimm. Who played the Thing.
Chiklis. Michael Chiklis.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hate him on there. He really fit that role.
Yeah, and they didn't like go over the top and supersize the Thing. They kept him as a
manageable,
as a large man then covered in rock. Where some of the Hulk movies, they supersized him where it wouldn't be a fair fight between Hulk and Thor in the movies.
Or like movie version, yeah. I guess I think the only I didn't like Jessica Alba in here. I mean, yes, she was very hot. But I don't know. I didn't really see her as like the Sue Storm type. Who did you not like in that film?
I don't know. I didn't have a lot of problems. Like you said, the Reed Richards character, I did. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, he was like pretty on point.
And then Captain America. Wow.
Oh yeah, we had a young Chris Evans.
And I don't know if he was necessarily the right person for that, but I think that they did that character really well.
Yeah.
With the tongue-in-cheek jokes and the one-liners and
his relationship with like the Thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think so like he might not have been like the first choice, but I think he made up for it with like the chemistry he had with everybody on in the cast.
Oh yeah.
And I also
and it did that the whole cast seemed to click well together. Like you could see that you could imagine that they were a team that had worked together prior to
the movie,
getting their special powers.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the guy who played Dr. Doom. I only remember him from Charmed.
Okay. Yeah.
He was like the demon that was doing Alyssa Milano. But yeah, I thought he was a pretty decent like Dr. Doom. But again, for me, I didn't have a lot of like source material to go off of. So how did you feel him? How did you feel about him as Dr. Doom?
He was not bad. I always, because Dr. Doom was like the king of Latvia or wherever it was. Yeah. I always in my head had him more accenty and more foreign, and so when they gave it to this guy who was
yeah, I think his name was like Julian something from Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
And
so that part was a little different than I expected, but at that point I was already trying to, do that mental distance between the movies and the comics, knowing that they're not going to be
100%. Yeah. But so like the first movie from 2005 was campy. It wasn't like overly serious.
Oh, it was super campy, and it was like horrible special effects, and like it was bad special effects for 2005 or for
2005.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was like some cool parts in it with like
Right.
I think they did like as much as they could with like Johnny Storm's like Flame On.
Yeah.
That was decent.
Oh,
No, for 2005,
yeah,
right?
that wasn't too bad. That was because I remember they flamed somebody up in Lawnmower Man 5 years earlier, and like the Stephen King movie, and it was I was like, wow, that is really bad. Just obvious CGI on a person standing there. I hope they don't do a Fantastic Four movie like that.
So like, so why do you think like it didn't like take on this status of like being a great film, or do you think like the dialogue was just bad, or the movie like progression?
There was nothing bad about it, but there was nothing
Good,
great about it either.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though some of the people fit the characters really pretty decently, nobody was an outstanding actor in it or an actress in it. The dialogue was a little cheesy, where Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, they could get away a little bit more because Spider-Man's like this, high school college kid who's, quirky and young and
awkward,
where this should, even though you got the smart-ass Human Torch, it's still a more professional group of adults.
Yeah.
And they were still shooting for that kid audience, so they were trying to have adults do kid dumb things, I guess, in a way. And like we said, with Doctor Doom is such a fantastic. He was really kind of like Marvel's Joker.
Yeah.
And they jumped into weird like electrical powers, which are things that way later in the comics he dabbles with, but and then they made him not have it's not like an Iron Man kind of suit. They made him like he is made out of metal because his body turned into it. And so like
it's like a lot of changes that it was too
like
many.
They had a whole lot of potential with a bad guy to be a major character, and then they just made him an average bad guy.
Yeah, I could see that also because like you said, like they were shooting for like this sort of like more kid friendly audience, where I think they should have taken like a couple notes from like Spider-Man 1, which is like it's not the greatest like Spider-Man film, but you had like William Dafoe do like this really like tonally dark like a villain for such a light movie like the first one.
Right. And then in the second one, the
Doc
Ock
was really
stole
good.
The show.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean like, but sort of like the whole problem with like that Christian Bale had with Heath Ledger is just like the villain of a superhero film sort of makes the film that much better.
Right.
Yeah, because if like your hero doesn't have like a strong villain or like this very just a good villain to go up against, the movie sort of falls kind of flat.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with like what they did with Doctor Doom. They made him too campy.
Yeah.
And
then they try at the end they kind of try to darken him up, but
by then it was like, yeah, but you only had like 20 minutes left of the movie.
Right.
And so yeah, I think those are like the major problems.
And
right?
maybe just introducing, maybe it's the same problem that like Justice League had. You have a whole handful of new characters that you're trying to introduce all at once, and so you're kind of origining story 5 people, the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, and everybody kind of nobody really stands out, and nobody gets the
spotlight.
proper spotlight.
Yeah. That's why for 2007, they had The Rise of the Silver Surfer, which arguably is the better movie of the two, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because now we don't have to have time to do like an origin story. Now we could sort of like it let the movie sort of delve deeper into like the Silver Surfer, who's the antagonist for most of the film, right?
Man, they almost should have made it a Silver Surfer movie with a little Fantastic Four in it, because I really enjoyed the way they did the Silver Surfer, but they upped the campiness on the Fantastic Four, and they just really diminished. Like you wanted to just watch the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Did I see like from like what I remember for the Fantastic Four, were they more campy in that film?
It seemed a lot sillier. Like it was all about, it wasn't like with the first one you had the Human Torch and the Thing, and it was they knew each other beforehand, so there was a couple like quips and quirks and I got all the ladies and you're made of stone kind of thing. But then the second one there was no real dialogue. It was just nothing but like trash talking each other kind of. And so it didn't develop any of the Fantastic Four characters at all. And then it made Reed Richards with the wedding thing. It made him look like such a bubbling idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really like diminishing that character who's supposed to be one of the smartest people in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like the standout for that film was like the Silver Surfer, which maybe it should have just been a Silver Surfer like movie, but I don't think he was like as big enough. Even now, I don't think he's big enough to helm his own film, right?
Right. Yeah,
because I mean, he was supposed to be like in Avengers, like instead of the Hulk crashing to Earth, it was supposed to be Silver Surfer, right, in the comics.
Yeah.
So see, they couldn't even give Silver Surfer that. But that film is arguably like better than the first one,
right?
Mainly because of Silver Surfer.
Yeah. And then they even teased Galactus at the end. Oh. They didn't do anything with it, but I liked the way they did that so much more than everybody else. Everybody like totally like, what was that? It was a big cloud and it hit Earth and it was stupid. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't just sneak
Galactus at the end
in the last 10 minutes and expect it to be anything. It would have been terrible. Like
he's such a prominent character. Yeah. But I mean, I did like, so like for that film Silver Surfer, he was like sort of like, like in the beginning of the film he was a bad guy, but he wasn't doing it because he wanted to do it.
Right.
So that
the Herald, and so he was trying to find planets
and so it gave him so much depth as a character, but left the Fantastic Four just like as sort of almost extras to his film.
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
But and then for 2015 we get the Fan Four Stick movie.
So it's gonna sound so bad. If they would have just named that movie differently, if I don't watch that movie as a Fantastic Four movie, it really wasn't a bad kind of superhero sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is a horrible Fantastic Four movie. It just craps all over everything that was Fantastic Four.
I know. I think I watched that film and I fell asleep. Like, and it's like it's really weird to fall asleep in a superhero film. I think they were like, you know what, back in the early 2000s we had this really campy family friendly one, let's try to go with this darker one.
Right.
And it just didn't work. And oh man, can we talk about the casting choices?
Yeah, it was pretty bad all around.
Well, I understand 2014, 2015 was a good year for Miles Teller. You know, he was in a couple like films like he was this is before that movie, this is after that movie, but Whiplash.
Yeah.
He was in the rebooted Footloose. The Spectacular Now. So you know the guy has acting chops.
Right. And it wasn't like they were totally no names. Like I recognized everybody from other things.
Yeah, and you had Michael B. Jordan,
right?
Who I think before that film had like Chronicle and Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
You had Rooney Mara. I've seen a lot. I don't know like where she's from, but I know she can act.
Right.
And wait, who did they have for Ben Grimm? Because I know like he's not like a no name, but I don't remember him as much as like the other ones.
Right.
We gotta look that one up real quick.
Unprepared.
Oh, Jamie Bell. That's who they had.
My phone said, "Battery will die."
But yeah, Jamie Bell. He was in Billy Elliot, Jumper.
Oh yeah.
So he's in a lot of. I see, but I also don't think he fits that role for Ben Grimm.
Some of those things, like I know that some of the movie studios like sign you into a contract where
or like Channing Tatum.
You got to do whatever 5 films over the next 5 years
with us
to make your $100 million or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I think some of those
were just contracts.
Poor guys got just suckered in. They were like, Fantastic Four, heck yeah, that sounds awesome. And then they just kind of got smashed into a role that just
wasn't fit for them. I know, and like they try to redo the whole actual story with like I think Michael B. Jordan was adopted or something,
right? And
Reed Richards was like way too young. Miles Teller was way too young to be that role.
I kind of liked that they had the Mr. Reed Richards and Ben Grimm like kind of friends from the before time, and that was an interesting dynamic that I didn't hate. Like it worked, and they don't really talk about that in the comics, so it could have been.
Well, like their like friendship could like stem from anywhere because they don't talk about it in the comics, right?
Right.
So they could have been schoolmates from before. There's a lot to work with in that dynamic of the relationship, but I just felt like he was just too young. They're both too young to play those two characters.
Right. I mean, they could have, but then they would have been joining that, getting their job there, being 10 or 15 years later than everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, because I guess Sue's
a little bit younger, right?
She's a little younger, but she's not. I guess she's not that much younger. But still, here they made them all teens.
Yeah, almost, or like early 20s or whatever.
20s instead of
like
the adults that they are in the comics.
Exactly. If they really wanted to make this movie darker, they should have threw Namor into there.
Yes.
It's a little joke for all you comic nerds. But this 2015 Fantastic Four film totally flopped at the box office. Fans trashed it.
Right. What they made it like 160 million worldwide, but then they estimate with all the marketing and publicity and everything, it was $200 million spent on it. So it was a substantial loss overall.
Oh, we gotta look this up. Yeah, 168. Well, you were right on the number on that one. Oh, yeah. Like I think their budget was 155 million.
Right.
So they only really made, I think, 13 million on top of that, which is, it's a flop for a film like that, especially of that scale.
Right. And then there was so much controversy where it was people were taught, and I don't really know the 100%, but that at that point Disney had already bought Marvel and wanted the rights to things, and The way the contract was written is they have to use those characters so often to keep them. So it was kind of a this isn't really the final movie we want, but we gotta hurry up and make something so that we can keep the Fantastic Four.
Just like in '94.
Right.
And so we sort of, after talking about all these movies, there has to be things that, like, you know, as fans of like just superhero movies in general and superhero comics, like, what do you think they could do to like change these things?
Well, I certainly don't want another origin story. Now we know them all.
Yeah.
We just need a solidified cast that fits the characters. I think originally they should have done a Fantastic Four origin story, and then the second movie been the Rise of Doctor Doom or something like that. And like you could have teased him in the first one.
Yeah.
But not. I think that everything there was just too many characters that they wanted to working on, and nobody got developed enough. And so now that you know them, I think it would have to be like not like this one where the most recent one where they were like full new origin and we're going to change the whole story and everything. Everybody knows who the Fantastic Four is now. So yeah, you could just kind of have those characters there and start going with them, and develop them into, you know, the family and friends that they are. Yeah.
So I think I was thinking about this when I told you this topic. I think like a week or so ago. What I would love for them to do with the Fantastic Four, if they had to do another origin film, right, is to sort of sneak it in, just like how Prometheus snuck in as an alien film.
Yeah.
If they did it straight up as a sci-fi film where this team goes up to research these cosmic waves, like really build it up as like if Ridley Scott did this. I don't know if they could get Ridley Scott to do it, but if they'd have him direct it and just sort of put it in this disguise that it's this sort of like thriller sci-fi film, but towards the end of the film they get hit with that cosmic wave.
Right. Yeah, I could totally see something like that working. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be like such a high risk move for like Sony to go through that.
Right.
Because it'd be like, I don't know if this is gonna work. People are probably going to be pissed that they're like, oh my god, I just watched a Fantastic Four origin film and not know. Because like even if, okay, so like say they named it something else, but the characters were like Richard or like Richard, Susan, John and Ben. You'd be like, oh, whatever.
Right. You wouldn't necessarily put that together.
Yeah, and then. And then towards the end, they get hit with the cosmic waves, and then they all start freaking out, and then just like sort of like cut somehow. Like, oh my god! I think for me, I would be so surprised, and I would be excited.
Or do it the opposite way, where you do a Doctor Doom movie, or a Mole Man movie, like the bad guy, and then just. You work on their story, their build up, their like the movie's about them, and then at the end, like you kind of like
sneak it in.
Yeah.
I think who could also do this is J.J. Abrams. Just get the same writer for all these Cloverfield movies.
Right.
Yeah, but just because like the Fantastic Four is just like one of these like comic properties where they have like so much. Like the ceiling is so high for them to do so many things,
right?
Because not only do they deal with all these like earthly things, but they deal with so much like cosmic stuff, right?
Right. And it's some of the movies have gone so big so quickly, like into that where it's not because we've mentioned it before. Like Ant-Man was enjoyable because it was him versus like the bad guys who lived in the neighborhood, you know. So it was not so over the top where now like you get the Avengers and the X-Men and stuff, and every movie is the world is gonna end. We have to stop this super bad guy, and like the Fantastic Four is almost they kind of push them too quickly into that
into
superhero instead of making them just heroes to start with.
I think what they need to deal with first, if they do intend to make another film, I know Sony will, is have them do like sort of like maybe a big scale, but like a big but small scale type of like problem. Like have them fix like one thing as a team, have them come together that way.
Right.
You know, it's just so hard because like I didn't grow up like did you grow up with comics like with the Fantastic Four? So like, but like they dealt with like a lot of like these bigger problems, but it was still like it was big, but it was contained into them.
Yeah.
Right. Like
it was still they were stopping a bad guy from taking over the city, or from kind of like the Batman movies where like he's still just Gotham centric.
Yeah.
Like he's stopping the Scarecrow from poisoning the water, or he's stopping the Joker from spreading the smile,
the Joker virus.
The Joker virus.
Yeah, or Riddler and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
And it's all still.
It's big enough to be concerned about, but not big enough to where it's like, oh, the whole world.
Right. It's a little too big for the police to handle. Yeah. But it's where like we get a Superman movie and you almost have to go,
worldwide.
Bring the
the apocalypse. Yeah. So if they could do like something, because okay, like when I also think about Fantastic Four, I guess is like it sort of like has like this strong sci-fi feel because they're a team that was affected by like a cosmic like wave radiation, whatever.
Right.
They're science. They're like a science thing, but they're also a team. So if they could somehow sort of mix like Guardians and a little bit of Doctor Strange, not the supernatural element, but like instead of the supernatural, more sci-fi.
No,
type,
totally right.
It might work.
Yeah, because the Guardians was a well-developed team dynamic where you didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So like it was a full origin story of each one of those characters.
But it wasn't all at once.
But all at once.
That was the good thing. Like you knew a little bit about them, and then they carried that over to the second film. So you could still like there's still more to know about them instead of just like vomit all to you in the first half of the first film.
Right. Right. Yeah, and they almost that was kind of the thing that I did appreciate with the most recent Fantastic Four movie was because you kind of got that origin story of Reed and Ben as kids growing up and how smart he was and their friendship together before they introduced anybody else, and so you actually did get to know them a little bit better. It wasn't let's meet a whole team at once.
Yeah, it's like so that's really what I think would help maybe like make possibly a good Fantastic Four film. I mean, I know just like I think it has the same problem with that like Star Wars has, that there's like such a strong like fan base from like the 70s and 80s the people who grew up with the Fantastic Four films,
right? That
are like probably it's like its harshest critics.
Yeah.
But it's also I didn't grow up with it, so like do you feel like they're just like boxed into like just like certain things that they can do, or
I think that's a good script and a good director could pull them out of that box and you'd have a lot more leeway with them. But if you've got an average script and a average director, you kind of have to run the course of the comics, because trying to step out there without really doing something exceptional, you're gonna get the fans are gonna just trash it. Yeah.
It's just because like the Fantastic Four, I think doing a movie for them, you can't really do any of like the regular tropes that other superhero films do, because it is a family. You sort of want like the PG-13 version of like The Incredibles.
I was actually just thinking that same thing, and I was like, that was definitely one where they developed, but they didn't have to develop everybody, because really the story was around Mr. Incredible and
in the first one,
and then a little bit about the wife and their romance. But it was really, I mean, it was about one of them, and I mean, you could do that. Just grab Reed Richards and make him the central focus, and then you have these other characters who are interacting with him that become part of his team by the end of the by the end of the movie.
By the end of the film. See, they could really just go that route, but then they just want to know everybody's important. Like, not really.
Right.
Because I like, without Reed Richards, it's not really the Fantastic Four, right?
Right. Yeah. He's Mr. Fantastic.
Exactly. Oh, man. So, for your, let's say, how would you, if you had to like sort of do the plot line of the first film, how would you want it? Like, for you to fit it, sort of, not fit your like ideal of the Fantastic Four, but how would you want it to go?
Writing is not my forte. I don't know. I've read a bunch. Fantastic Four wasn't always my favorite, so I haven't read everything.
Mm-hmm.
They've done some stories where they've had kids, and I think that is gone over the top. Where their kids are even more powerful than they are. Yeah, I think if you really focused maybe just on
on Reed,
on Reed and maybe Reed and Sue, and that's their relationship and that, or maybe be even more interesting to do it from the other side and
Doctor Doom,
do Doctor Doom, or do like The Thing, and just kind of like the whole movie about.
Okay, that's the B movie lover in Colby, where he just wants a Thing movie. The Adventures of the Thing. No, yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I know DC, I don't know if it's still in the talks if they're gonna do a Black Adam film, but it's probably one of the first films for a villain, right?
Right. So it's supposed to be a Shazam sequel tie-in. That'll be the second Shazam movie.
Yeah. See, so yeah, it would definitely be interesting if they did a Doom film. Right, because I still don't know a lot about him, you know.
Right.
Or
he has been such a reoccurring character that they have really, really developed him into just
one of the big baddies of the Marvel universe, right? But I mean, yeah, that would be awesome. Or if they did Reed Richards and Doctor Doom, a centric movie, or like you said, maybe they. I don't know if they grew up together.
In the comics, they were friend/rivals in college.
Yeah.
Where they were the two smartest people in school, and so they didn't hate each other for any other reason that they were always trying to one-up each other to be the best.
Oh, see, even that would be a really cool movie. The first half of the film is just them in school.
Right.
And then sort of developing into this adult life. See,
that probably be the correct way to go.
See, yeah, man. Even if we're having a hard time trying to come up with a solid way, I can't.
Or you do the totally you teased it earlier, but you do the Sue Storm, Namor. And then that's the main focus, and then the Fantastic Four kind of comes in.
Oh, so you want this? You want this to be Diane Lane's Unfaithful?
But there's your way to make
an R-rated.
A real a female hero.
That's flawed.
Centered movie where they always say that they can't do that.
No, they already did that with Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah, that was right. Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live thing where they talked about Disney making all these movies and they're like, now we're gonna start working on the female superheroes, and they're gonna like the Black Widow movie, and it's like she's in love with Ultron, but he's the jerk guy who doesn't love her back, but the Hulk is the one who really. He's the guy.
Was this the one where Scarlett Johansson was on? Yeah, I saw that one. No, yeah. If there was ever a Sue Storm Namor movie, that's totally, it has to be R-rated.
Yeah. Maybe at this point everybody would be like, oh, you're copying Aquaman, because he just kind of Marvel's Aquaman.
I mean, like, I think Marvel and DC did that a lot, right? They definitely copied characters, or
right.
That's why Shazam had to become Shazam,
right?
Because before he was Captain Marvel, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you had like that competition to who in the early 70s who could have the first popular black superhero comic, and so it was Black Lightning versus Luke Cage. They kind of both came out at the same time because there was no like African American heroes.
Was that it?
Or at least like main heroes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I totally thought it would have been like Black Panther. Wait, no. It could.
So he was in, but he was never his own. Like they were looking for a lead.
Yeah. Okay.
And Black Panther was actually kind of more of a bad guy at the beginning. But he was a Fantastic Four bad guy.
Was
misunderstood bad guy.
It was a different time during those times. But yeah, okay. We gotta get back on topic. Okay, what did I want to say? So, yeah, really, I think the only way to make a good Fantastic Four franchise is if Sony, who right now holds the rights to the Fantastic Four, takes risks into doing that franchise, because like you said, nobody wants to see another like origin film,
right?
But if they do, like, do it in a way like we don't expect.
Right, like we actually had both gone and just recently saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
And that is like it has 12 different Spider-Man origins that they throw in, and it does not feel like an origin story. It totally feels like it is Spider-Man versus the Kingpin, and you don't get that kind of boring just origin again, especially Spider-Man. You know it, and they have 12 different Spider-Man where they origin you, and so it could have been just a drag, and it just was super clever the way they kind of went through and did those all.
Well, because I think they've heard everybody's pleas of not doing another origin film.
And it was almost kind of like they made a joke over that.
Yeah.
It was like, we don't want to do that again. So here's the origin in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you see, like, that's pretty clever. It's a creative way of doing it, where you sort of like, because like we didn't really need that much of like Miles's backstory.
Right.
Well, we got it, but in a way that it didn't feel like an origin. Like, it felt like the necessary progression for the film, where, like, spoiler alert, Peter Parker of the Marvel Ultimate Universe dies, right?
Yeah, yep.
And that's how, like, Miles becomes the Spider-Man of that universe, and it didn't feel like an origin. It just felt like, oh man, that was like his Uncle Ben moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess his uncle died, but that was like way later.
That was also his Uncle Ben moment.
But yeah, so yeah, I totally feel like if they do want to do another Fantastic Four, that they're gonna definitely have to take some risks.
Would you think, since we just saw Into the Spider-Verse, what about an animated Fantastic Four movie? If they did it in that quality, not a live action, but not a cheesy like Saturday morning cartoon kind of Fantastic Four that they've done poorly.
I remember watching that. That was actually pretty cool. They had the Silver Surfer arc in there. No, definitely. I think that might even be a better route for them to go. Only because like we said, like the Fantastic Four deals with such like cosmic things.
Right.
You know, and like if you have another spoiler, if you haven't seen the end of Spider-Verse where they do the whole melding of all these universes, that could definitely be something that cut the cost down for them to do.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
but it would just deprive the world of a live action Doctor Doom.
That's true, but they could do. I mean, if you animate, you could do some of those special effects, some of all that stuff. You could do it so on point.
Yeah, it's just more to the source material where it fits.
Yeah,
because he does have like a lot of like big powers, right? But they all do, so it won't look as goofy as like Johnny Storm did at the end of the Rise of the Silver Surfer, where he was just taking on all the powers. That actually would probably be the best way for Sony to go to. Just do an animated film.
And I would not have even thought about that as an option, except for that Spider-Verse was so well done.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It didn't take itself too serious.
Right. So I mean, like, definitely light enough that kids would enjoy it, but heavy enough that there's old fans would certainly appreciate it.
There's some pretty heavy moments in Spider-Verse. The whole Peter Parker not wanting kids.
Yep.
And you even get like side growth from that Peter Parker, because at the end he sort of kind of wants kids now.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely, yeah. I could see it. I could see that being probably one of the best options for Sony to reboot a Fantastic Four film, just because like, man. I feel like at this point they don't want to put in that much money anyway.
Right.
You know, for all the special effects. So yeah.
So, but if they are going to do a live action movie, who would you think cast?
That's really hard. I still think you could use Michael Chiklis.
You probably could.
Does he still look the same?
Just a little wrinklier, but yeah.
But you know, once you put him in that rock costume, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh man, Johnny Storm would probably be like a sort of like, who's like the Chris Evans of today, you know? Sort of like someone who's like because Johnny Storm's fit, right? He's pretty.
Right. Yeah. He's the like the stunt test pilot.
Yeah. So he's definitely like, you know, just Chris Evans of now, not now Chris Evans, but like whoever like equals him to who he was from before. It's really hard to do a dream cast for right now. Did you have anyone in mind?
I wish I would have thought of that yesterday. So I had a few minutes. It just popped into my head since we were talking about.
Yeah, I just think like as far as like age wise, I would like Reed Richards to be a little bit older. Right. You know, not like a Miles Teller character. I don't want these not like flavor. They're not flavor of the month actors. You know, they're still really good actors, but I'd like them to fit the age.
Yes.
Of the character, right? We might have to begin the next episode with our Dreamcast. Because I can't do it off the top. This needs some thought to it.
Right.
Because I also don't know who Stu Storm could be. It just can't be Rooney Mara or Jessica Alba. I'm sorry.
Has Jessica Alba been in anything in forever? I don't even.
Oh, I think she's been in a lot of like indie films.
Okay.
Sort of. I mean, I think she has her own company now, of like makeup or something. I don't know.
Right.
She does more CEO things. Yeah. Because, I mean, really, was there ever like a standout performance from Jessica Alba that you ever saw? Can you name like 5 movies she's been in?
She was in Sin City.
Yeah, but she wasn't the main in Sin City.
She was not the main in Sin City.
Yeah, she's probably one of the most produced gifts from Sin City with that.
with chaps.
Yeah, with the chaps. Yeah,
She was in the breakdancing movie, right? Wasn't she like the lead in like a?
Oh, Honey. Yeah, she was a dancer.
But Honey was more like real dancing, right? I thought
It was like choreographed dancing and all that stuff.
I thought there was one where it was like, I may be wrong, where it was like the street dance-offs, and then they were, like the finals were like in, the mall.
I think, are you talking about,
Maybe I am thinking something else.
Yeah, that's something else. That was a really popular movie, too. I think, okay, like, I can name 5. I'm ashamed that I can name 5. I think she was in Idle Hands.
Okay,
Do you remember that film? Never Been Kissed.
Yep.
What was it called? That movie with Dane Cook. Good Luck Chuck.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic Four series. And The Eye, which I was really sad about because that's a really great foreign film.
It is. I saw it foreign first,
and then you saw, and I watched the American one. I was like, yep, this is this is The Eye to Jessica Alba was what the Catwoman was to Halle Berry.
Career ending.
You know what? I think I had Catwoman on, like it was on the TV, and I was just like loving how bad it was.
Yes. When you first go in to see something like that and you expect it to be good, you're very disappointed. But later on, when you're like, it's a bad movie, you can appreciate the badness.
It's just she took so much from the Catwoman from the Adam West version.
Yes.
That like it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone was in that film, wasn't she?
She was.
Man. She was like, I'm not. She was just like, I wasn't the star of the film. I had a contract to finish up.
Yep.
To.
Yeah. There's a lot of those times where I feel that's the that person.
I think the prime example.
Script and think, I want to be in this.
I think the prime example of actors finishing out contracts is I think movie 43.
That movie was so enjoyable for me. I was but totally yes. That's a bunch of people who should not have been in that,
but they just wanted to finish out a contract.
It made every skit funnier. That you had stuff like
Hugh Jackman with balls on his chin.
With balls on his chin.
Oh my god! Or what else was it? Chris Pratt getting hit by a car and shitting all over it. You had
And where was like Dennis Quaid was the crazy guy who was trying to sell the movie?
Yes. You had that one skit where the kid was getting homeschooled, but his mom and dad were like taking him through all the stages of growing up. So gross. Oh man. Well, I think that's the end of this episode. Any last thoughts on the film? On like just if you want to talk about like just any last thoughts on any ideas or just if you like the previous films of the Fantastic Four.
If you've got a chance and you can find it somewhere, and you are into like campy, fun, goofy movies, definitely check out that first 1990s one. Really like the Doctor Doom in that is of all the movies is the one that looks the most like he does in the comic. And they're all in spandex, and it's bad spandex, and the special effects are horrible. But it is, but the thing is pretty well done. It is
practical effects.
It is like the leading edge of those original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of technology where that's always how I thought about that. It seemed like that was the same kind of makeup people who did the Turtles and did the thing. But yeah, I mean, if you're into bad movies, that's definitely a fun watch.
Is it easy? Is it hard to find, or do you think? I feel like it's on YouTube
now that there's the internet.
Yeah,
it probably isn't too hard to find.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Man, for me, I guess watch the Rise of the Silver Surfer, featuring the Fantastic Four.
Right.
It actually, it's one of the it's probably the only one that has an interesting like bad guy.
Right.
Who's not even a bad guy.
Yeah. And they did him well. It was just the Fantastic Four. They didn't do well on that movie. But yeah.
Oh man, just to talk about a few things of the Silver Surfer, I thought he was just really cool in that film where he was just like phasing through his board onto other things.
Yes.
And even like it even teased like Silver Surfer was gonna like come back. I think if they had done a Silver Surfer film after that,
right,
not an origin film, a surprise Silver Surfer film.
Yes, yeah, they could have definitely followed it up. It would have had to been within like a couple years after.
Yeah, just because you got to think it was like early, like it was like 2007, so probably 2009 they could do all the graphics with it.
Right.
But I thought that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of the show, guys. I'm Barry.
I'm Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. All right, now I got to
Thank you.
And to let you guys know, the guy Lee Rosevere is the one who does our theme song. It's called Arcade Montage. You can check them out on fma.com. Music for Podcast 3 album. Thank you guys.